Well, hey everybody, it's Bradford, your carnivore curmudgeon, with something a little bit different. I've done some camping videos in the past, but this last weekend we took our kids and grandkids to Yogi Bear's Jellystone Park Campground. Not the kind of campground we would normally go to, Mrs. Curmudgeon and I, but because we had the kids, we thought it would be fun, and it was in Asheboro, North Carolina, actually only about an hour from where we live. And surprisingly, it was a ton of fun. Very kid oriented, lots and lots to do for the kids and the parents and the grandparents. And we really had an enjoyable weekend here at this campground. It was pretty full when we got there, but by Sunday at noon, it had really cleared out and only a few people were there. And we stayed till Monday morning. I was a little surprised at the lack of signage out in the main road, but you know, when you turn in, there's Yogi himself just greeting you and welcoming you to his humble abode. A quick tour of the campground. When you come in, straight ahead is the ranger station, and that's where they'll check you in and give you all the information and the map of where you need to go. Very friendly staff, nice people. Can't say enough about them. And because it was so empty, it's a little hard to see just how much is available. But there are many, many RV sites. They have cabins, they have tent sites that you can camp. So lots to choose from here at Yogi's place. And you can see the dust flying. It was pretty dry the weekend we were there. They are all gravel roads, but it wasn't really a big deal. There are some of the cabins on the left. They got a couple of different kinds of cabins you can rent, and they're pretty affordable, pretty comparable, I would say, with a hotel room. And coming around this curve, we did find one of the two ponds. We went ahead and went fishing in this pond. I'll show you pictures in a moment. It was a nice little pond. And for my carnivore friends out there, I will tell you this was not really a carnivore weekend. We did have some carnivore food. I'll show you that in a moment too. But to be honest, there were just too many people in our group that did not care for strictly carnivore meals. And, when in Rome on the occasional weekend, I may roam a little. And I did. But I will spare you seeing those meals as I didn't even bother to take pictures of them. And coming up on the right, here's camping space number 9 on Lollipop Lane. And that was our home for the weekend. Here's a picture of our campsite before we had all our swimsuit towels everywhere. They've got a really nice little playground. I don't know that I should call it little, but lots to do there on the playground for the kids. Can't say enough about the pool. It was really just a very nice pool, and there was a lot of time spent there with the kids, and they had an absolute blast swimming and playing in the little tiny fountains in the pool. Really beautiful. And there was the bouncy pad, which was a big hit. They said they had a bounce house, but it must not have been working. We never saw it. They have a laser tag area. This is something called Cindy's Pavilion. I never could get inside to see what that was all about. They have a nice big pavilion where they do movies and games. The bathhouses were very nice, super clean. I don't think I ever waited in line, even though there aren't many of them. I mentioned we did go to that little pond, and we caught some little fish in that little pond. And we did have some terrific food. Don't get me wrong, it may not have all been carnivore, but it was really good. Bacon and eggs for breakfast that first day, and we always had hearty breakfast, and then pretty much a little snack in the middle of the day, and then had a nice big dinner. Now, here comes my funny carnivore story. The second night we were there, we had steaks, and one of our neighbors who was on his first camping trip with his children came over and said, "Oh my gosh, that smells good. What is it?" And I said, "Just some steaks on the grill." I said, and I had some venison cooking also. I said, "Do you like venison?" He said, "No, I'm a vegetarian." and he sounded so sad about it, and I can understand why. Later, his wife came by and said, "What are you cooking?" And I said, "Well, look, we got some venison hearts." And she said, "Ooh, I don't know that I wanted to know that." And then I said, "Well, if you didn't want to know that, you don't want to know what's in that little tinfoil pouch on the grill." And she just smiled and walked away. What she didn't know was in there were some venison kidneys and some venison testicles. And yep, they were delicious. I'm so glad I'm not a vegetarian. Now, an added bonus to Yogi's place is that it's right down the street from the North Carolina Zoo. So we made a trip to the zoo, and we had now we walked a lot. It was a lot of walking, but it was really enjoyable, very affordable. We just got to see all kinds of different animals. They were out that day. One of the criticisms of the North Carolina Zoo is you go and all the animals are hiding somewhere, but we really got to see a lot of them. And I gotta say, is it wrong that I looked at that giraffe and said, it's a ruminant. I'll bet it's tasty. Imagine the size of the smoker you'd have to have, though. So the kids had a great time. The adults had a great time. Our granddaughter Ruby got her first tram ride and thought it was the best thing ever. Mrs. Curmudgeon got to spend lots and lots of time with the girls, and Ruby absconded with her hat at one point. And, they're so young, I don't know if this will be a memory for them or not, but it certainly will be a memory for us and for their mom and dad. And we had a great time this weekend. And if you get a chance, go camping with your family. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time.